I run Tap HR. So we provide HR help to SMEs and startups across the UK. But I want to do so much more. I really want to revolutionise the way that people use and access HR services. So I've been in HR for a very, very long time, and I decided about a year ago that I wanted to go out and run my own HR consultancy, which is what I've been doing. But what I found is actually there's a bit of a gap in the market for something that combines kind of authentic and great HR advice with HR systems and processes that allow businesses to run really, really well. So what I've noticed is that people view HR as one of those things that is important and that they need to do, but actually they just don't have time for. It ends up on their to-do list, and to be honest, people tend to call me and my consultants when something goes drastically wrong. But what I would love to produce is something that allows businesses to be proactive about their HR approach, but doesn't make it difficult and stuffy and stop any of the creativity. So what I'd love to do is evolve Tap HR. We'll either evolve it or create a new brand whereby businesses have access to an app that allows them to speak to online via kind of video call or a chat function a specific HR consultant. So you're not talking to a call centre, you're talking to an actual person. But equally combines that with HR software that will allow you to do the basics really, really well. So things like onboarding candidates so they get a really good idea of who the company is as an organisation. Things like creating documentation kind of quickly, easily, and making sure that people are compliant. And also allowing people to do the simple stuff like request holiday, log sickness absence, pull information about rotas or payroll right from the click of an app. Obviously, the system being web-based itself, but all combining what people need from a HR department without the cost of having to bring somebody in. I think what I want this piece of software to do is be a credible building block to help people build their organisational culture, as well as make sure that they've got all of the compliance that they need, and they've got kind of a HR wing person that's constantly got their back and is providing them with good, clear, consistent advice. So I've been in HR for over 19 years now. It's been a really long time. And I decided to kind of take the plunge and start my own HR consultancy. So for the last year, I've been doing that, helping out really cool, sparky startups, SMEs, charities, lots of different organisations. And what I've noticed is that people kind of put HR to the back of their minds. It's one of those things that people know is important, but they just don't have time to deal with. It's not necessarily something that's very accessible, and people often feel like if they implement something that's HR related, it's going to be a barrier and kind of stop kind of creativity. So what I try to do is create a HR service for people that doesn't do that, that aligns with their business and helps to support them. But actually what I found is clients really want accessibility, authenticity, and systems and processes that make things really easy. And I haven't been able to find a system out there that brings together all of those things. So that's kind of what I want to create. So I think it's really important to tell you a little bit more about me and so you understand who you're potentially investing in. So I am a mum of two. I have fabulous 17-year-old twins. I have a lovely bulldog, Dexter, who you might hear snuffling around during part of this video. And also I have a few tropical fish. I'm not the best tropical fish keeper, but I do have some. I never really fitted in, I don't think, with the kind of the conventional world of work. And whilst I was able to kind of build a very kind of successful career as a HR director and in HR in general, I always felt like the odd one out. I was always a little bit of a geek, always quite interested in tech, always wanting to do something a little bit differently, which doesn't always necessarily fit with the traditional view of a HR director and what they do. So being able to kind of step out and build my own business has been really quite liberating for me, because it's meant I've been able to release my kind of creativity, think a little bit more about what I wanted to do. And I think that's where this really awesome fusion of the experience that I've had as a HR director and running my own HR consultancy meets and matches really nicely with the idea of having a piece of software that combines all of those amazing things and builds this thing, this item, this way of working that's going to really help revolutionise the way people use HR services, and in particular SMEs and startups, how they access really great, really credible HR advice to support their business. The idea of being able to combine kind of authenticity and tech together for me is really, really cool, and something that I think is missing within the market itself. In terms of the way my business runs, it's a values-led business, and it's been very important to me to make sure that that's embedded in the way that I do things. And our values are classable, what I call them are acts. So we're always very authentic with the way that we work. We continually develop and look to push and change things, and obviously this idea is one of those things. Transparency in the way that we work and our pricing. I hate it when you go on a website and you can't see how much something is. Just be open and clear and transparent about what we're doing. And also supporting others. If I can support people, and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm making money, I'm happy being able to support someone and putting something good and positive back out into the world. So for me, there's some great HR solutions out there, but they don't do exactly what it is that I'm looking to do. There's some fabulous software out there like Breathe HR, which is kind of your early end of the market, that provides some great general functionality, but doesn't really do the onboarding side of things, and definitely doesn't do the consultancy and the support side of things that I would like to incorporate. Or there are some awesome super duper systems like Personio, who have obviously received multi-million pounds worth of funding, and is a great piece of software, doesn't have the consultancy side of things that I would look to implement, is also quite expensive for the smaller market. So what I would look to produce is an app that has some fabulous functionality in terms of onboarding, a really good UX, clear kind of logging of sickness absence, holiday, rotas, just general information in a document repository, as well as access to a dedicated HR person who can support you with all things HR, not just kind of system related. And that's the difference, that's the USP. There isn't anything else out there, to my knowledge, that does what I'm suggesting, and definitely not in the way that I would love to do it. I think Tap HR, for me, the difference that we provide is we are unique, and we've definitely really value HR unicorns, as I like to call them. So we're big, we're bold, we're bright, and we're beautiful. And sometimes, particularly with HR software, it's kind of not that sexy and not that interesting. So I think that, again, is something else that we can bring to the market. So in terms of where I see us being placed, so it would be HR software accessible via an app for businesses who are small to medium organisations. I would probably say organisations with kind of 100 employees or less. Equally, startup organisations, scale-up organisations who want a robust piece of software that isn't the basic end of the market, but also don't want to be paying a massive amount for something that is, way more comprehensive than they need. So right now we do have an app. It's a very, very basic MVP, and at the moment what it does is allows our customers to use a chat function to talk to one of our consultants if they have any kind of needs or they want any support or guidance. And it also is a repository for all of our content, so all of our YouTube, TikTok videos, etc. are all available within the app. It does allow people to purchase time with our consultants. So at the moment it's a very, very basic model of what I would like it to become and to evolve into, because what I would like is obviously that fusion of being able to contact a consultant, so that chat function would stay, but also I would love there to be some sort of video interaction, but equally I would love to be able to implement the HR system side of things so that there's that real fusion of kind of tech and a personal response for businesses. So for me, the biggest amount that I would be looking to spend is on actually expanding out the MVP. So when I've spoken to various agencies that can help me with that, I'm looking at anywhere between kind of 10 to 35k, to be honest, to be able to create the MVP. So what I would look to do is spend a maximum of £15,000 to expand out on the app and the system itself, to create a workable product that I can go out to market with, test within the market itself, and also use to hopefully, fingers crossed, attract more investment to the product. Other than that, so I'm not a tech founder. I'm very good in terms of what I want the UX to look like, what I want the system to look like and feel like, but I need somebody that's got some kind of tech experience that can provide me with guidance from that side of things. So I would definitely like to utilise mentoring to help me with that, and also with being able to find a tech co-founder to support Tap HR. Equally, obviously, there's advertising and placement. I think for me, I'm still not 100% sure whether or not I would like this to be a totally separate product to Tap HR, because at the moment Tap HR is HR consultancy, but there is an argument, I think, that perhaps we could create a separate product a separate entity for this project. So again, I'd love some help and guidance from a mentor on that. And obviously then there are things in terms of online advertising, placements, getting it out there, getting reviews. So for me, the bulk of the cash, if I was lucky enough to be awarded it, would be in creating the MVP and making that work and testing it and moving things forward. I think the sky's the limit for this, you know. I think I would love it to be a one-stop shop and solution for all kind of business HR related needs. So whilst at this stage, I think having video access to HR consultants combined with software would be amazing. I think the sky's the limit for what you could do with it. You could have an add-on whereby people could speak directly to an employment lawyer if they had a really tricky case. You could have an add-on whereby people can have access to health and safety information, or health and safety advisors, if that was something that would be useful, so that it really is this really powerful tool that people can utilise to make their businesses better, but in a really quick, slick, accessible space, rather than having to go to lots of different places or to go to a company or a provider that can be quite stilted, where you call a call centre and you get various different people. For me, it's all about that personal service and how people are able to really use the product to benefit their business and make their business better. So that's it. I really hope you buy into the vision that I'm trying to build. I think Tap HR will grow and become something really awesome and very different in the world of HR. And I would love to be being able to achieve or grab some funding from you guys to start making that happen, because I think what I want to do is very different. It's a real fusion of tech and kind of individuality, and I think that it's going to be amazing, and I would love for you to buy into me and buy into my business. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'll hear from you soon.